No, drugs are illegal in the Netherlands because there's these international treaties, 61, 71, 88, and the Netherlands has also signed it, the European Union has signed it. So drugs are illegal. Cannabis is illegal, heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, they're all illegal. Except cannabis can be bought in the shop, in a coffee shop. There are about 700 of them in the country, mostly in the cities. In villages you won't find in coffee shops, but they're mostly in the cities. And it's a bit strange situation because the substance is illegal, but it is allowed to be sold. The way this works, legally, it's by using the opportunity principle, or it's also called the expediency principle, which means that a policeman or a prosecutor has every moment he has to decide, am I going to prosecute this person or not? You know, the prosecutors have a little bit of freedom there. In the Netherlands, there's guidelines by the Prosecutor General that people are allowed to have small quantities of drugs for personal use. That's one. And you know, for all the drugs, they are allowed to have small quantities for personal use. So possession is decriminalized. Since the 1970s, one of the guidelines of Dutch drugs policy, the best drugs policy, is a good social policy. One of the goals of the Dutch drugs policy is the separation of the markets, that trying to prevent that people enter into contact with hard drugs, you know, like methamphetamine, heroin. If people want to experiment with drugs, they can buy cannabis. So people are aware, because the cannabis is allowed in shops. That's not too bad, whereas the others are worse. It's illegal, and it's a bit strange situation because the substance is illegal, but it is allowed to be sold. Everybody is aware of this strange situation. It's called the front door, back door problem. Coffee shops are allowed to sell cannabis to consumers, but what they buy in from producers, importers, or it's locally produced is illegal. The government would like to solve this problem, would like to regulate it. This 4 times has been a parliamentary majority that would like an experiment with legal supplies of cannabis. However, this is not possible because of these international treaties.
Because of the international pressure, you know, we are the only country until now that has quite, you know, a visible policy on this issue.
Other countries, for them it's a bit difficult to follow the Netherlands, partly because they hear such bad information about the Netherlands. Government agencies of the United States, they're spreading, I could say, propaganda about the Netherlands, that the situation here is getting totally out of hand. Sometimes we read the most incredible things from American drug czars or on websites of the DEA, that the situation in the Netherlands is getting totally out of hand. There's a new heroin epidemic, that everybody is on drugs. We read and hear the most terrible things of the Netherlands.
Amsterdam, when I've been there, you have to cross over bodies lying on the street because they're high on drugs. They're just lying on the corner. You have to jump over them.
Marijuana is the single biggest cause of treatment need in this country by far. The problem that we face is it's more than twice as important a factor in the treatment need of the country.
And international criticism. You know, the Netherlands is a small country and it has been criticized a lot by other countries, France, especially the United States, and sometimes occasionally by another country. But there is always some international pressure on the Netherlands because the Netherlands is not complying with the international war on drugs. It's in a way a threat to the current system because it's the only country that's really doing it a bit differently. So there's a lot of pressure from the United States.
There are some holes in the net which we can use to still do our thing, but it's not like that you can puff in the face of a police officer and you don't get any problems. Of course, you won't get beaten up and end up in jail for the next who knows how long, but there are rules. It's more like game rules rather than laws, because of course in Holland we don't take it so seriously. You know, somebody is standing on the corner smoking a joint is no problem.
We are at the moment in a strange situation. That here in Holland, we break down our successful soft drugs policy. We close down coffee shops, and on the other side in the USA, the temple of the war on drugs, there is a huge movement going on of legalize the cannabis, you see. So what I try to do is, with the advisor of Obama, I want to bring him over to Holland to explain that don't go on here in Holland, because this government will close down the coffee shops, and it will be worse. You see? Then the people have to go to the street again. There's no wall between soft and hard drugs anymore. There is poison into the marijuana. You see, it's the black market. So the coffee shop is a big success.
And in the Netherlands, I personally know from my experience and also from my research that is the purpose of these coffee shops. It's because within the coffee shop, you can buy a little bit of cannabis, you can sit there and smoke it and have a cup of tea, you can become a little mellow and listen to some music and go home. You'll never be offered cocaine. You'll never be offered heroin. You're in a safe zone.
And the good thing is, I mean, the real reason of this whole policy is to not criminalize users. That's the bottom line of it. People, that was for these commissions in the late 1960s and 1970s, the bottom line is that it's considered cannabis use or possession is not considered something people should be punished for. Because a punishment is considered disproportionate. Because we're talking about a relatively safe substance, especially compared to the other illegal drugs. Also compared to alcohol. Why should people be punished for this? Why should people be criminalized? So the criminalization, having a criminal record, is considered more harmful than what the act of using or possessing cannabis. So that's the bottom line. That's how it started.